When it does come to chiropractic school, I want you to go ahead and pick your school carefully. If you're really into the profession, you really want to become a chiropractor, make sure you pick your school carefully. I'll just make it really simple for you. If you're in the United States, do not go to Life Chiropractic College, do not go to Life West, and do not go to Sherman. These are schools that are philosophy-based, they are not evidence-based, and they have had a lot of trouble over the years with accreditation because they stray so far away from current guidelines. And
Hold up. I graduated from Sherman College of Chiropractic, okay? I can't let him just run his mouth about my school. Like, nah, bro, we're not doing that. Like, and I don't care what field it is, I don't care what job it is, I don't care what school it is. For someone with influence to say something like that is just ludicrous, man. It's like that's ridiculous. Like, I don't care if you disagree with whatever. Like, you can't just say, oh, don't go there, don't go here, like, because you never went there. Like, come on, man. Like, I can understand if you actually enrolled at these schools and paid tuition, sat in the classes, and had an experience, a real world experience there. But if you're just gonna blatantly just oust whole institutions, is just crazy. You know, you're not fact checking. You're just going off hearsay, and that's just ridiculous, man. Like, nah, bro. Like, you already wilding, man. Like, not having it. And yeah, that's just not good influence at all. Let's continue. Because you gotta give whoever you're trying to speak to the choice to choose wherever they want to go. Like, give them the facts, not your opinions. Like, come on, man, you know better than that. And I'm gonna go ahead and make this point. Going to professional school going to a graduate program is a professional decision that you have to make because you're investing in a lot of money, you're investing in a lot of time, and you want to make the right choice because it's a once in a lifetime opportunity, but at the same time it's also a very personal choice and decision to make because of the things I just said, and also because, you know, this is what you're gonna have to live with if you don't feel like you made the right choice. It's just gonna slow you down, and if you transfer schools, that's gonna cost more money and time because a lot of the schools don't have the same direct curriculum, so you may have to start over a lot of times or retake a lot of classes, and you don't want to do that. But like I said, it's a professional decision and a personal one, and to just blatantly just say don't go to these schools because it's that is not right. I don't care what it is, but let's continue. It's just propaganda, you know what I'm saying? All right.
frankly, they just do some stuff that, in my opinion, is a little shady. So don't go to Life, don't go to Sherman. With most other schools, it's pretty much a wash.
Like, he keeps naming them, like, don't go to Life, don't go to Sherman. It's like, okay. And we're going to talk about the accreditation in 1 second.
Make sure they're not philosophy-based. Next, let's talk about...
Make sure they're not philosophy-based. All right, well, let's talk about the accreditation. Okay, so before we talk about the accreditation, I need to finish some of my argument from before. So he's talking about philosophy-based schools, right? Well, Dr. Anthony Davis, went to Northwestern University of Health Sciences in Minnesota in their chiropractic program, and they actually have 4 philosophy classes, and I can pull it up too on the screen. So even though the school is not totally philosophy based, they still teach it. They still have to teach it because there's a section in part 2 of our national board exam that has chiropractic principles in it. So have to know it. So yeah. So when we as chiropractors downplay the philosophy and principle, it's like it's still in national boards too. Like you still gotta know it. So yeah, and also as far as the potential student having the right to choose where they want to go, making that decision, it is like anything else. Like a major record label, an artist, they can choose a major record label that has the machine to get behind them to sell records and whatnot and get their name out faster. Or you may have an artist that wants more creative control, so they go to an indie label where they can niche out on their artistry and how they want to put out their music, and they may not want to have certain restrictions on how they do certain things. So that's another example. And also, say for instance, like a coffee shop, different coffee shops. Like you may go to Starbucks all the time and get an Americano or a Frappuccino or whatever you like to get. That's your thing. Go to Starbucks then. Or you can go to a local coffee shop and you may want to support this local roaster who sources his beans from a place that you want to support, and then you can also support your Starbucks and the local coffee shop. You know what I'm saying? Like there's this balance in yin and yang within the universe, and going back to chiropractic, you may have, in the different chiropractic schools, you may have a person that has a medical background and had a career in nursing and wants to go into chiropractic, so they may lean more towards a chiropractic school that's more integrated with medicine in a sense, versus someone like me who wanted to go to a more philosophy-based school outside of the medical model. So, and then you have schools that focus on a little bit of both. So there's no wrong or right. It just depends on what that potential student wants and needs in their career. And for him to just say, don't go to these schools because they're quacks, I mean, nah, man, that's totally out of pocket, bro. So yeah. All right, so what he said about the accreditation of Life University, Life West, and Sherman College. I'm not going to speak on Life University and Life West. I'm going to speak on Sherman because that's where I went. And so I put up an article from goupstate.com, and they're talking about what happened at Sherman with accreditation. So what happened was, let's see, so the VP and chair of the institutional advancement for the Southern Association of Colleges and Schools, SACS, Leroy Moore, said that the root of Sherman's accreditation and financial problems was based on the disagreements about the 2 distinct types of chiropractic care. So like I said, like you have the straight chiropractic that they used to call it, of philosophy-based chiropractic, and then you have the mixer Philosophy-based chiropractic, which that we call more integrative type of chiropractors. Um, and so this is all in the 90s, happening in the 90s. So what happened was uh so Sherman, they were accredited by the Straight Chiropractic Academic Standards Association, SCASA, from 1988 to 1995, right? And so the Council on Chiropractic Education, CCE, they, at the time, they did not agree with the straight chiropractic philosophy. And so what they did was they convinced the Department of Education to drop SCASA, to drop their ability to license chiropractic schools. And so yeah, the U.S. Department of Education revoked their endorsement of SCASA in 1990, all right? And so Sherman lost their approval and that accreditation, which led to their loss in numbers of students coming in because of that. And so they had a financial strain with that. And so moving forward, in January of 1995, the CCE decided to grant them their accreditation back. And so, but at the same time, they lost their designation with the Southern Association of Colleges and Schools for that region, unfortunately. And so yeah, Sherman has been through a lot. and so where this article was written was in 2001, and at this time Sherman completed a self-study for that Southern Association of Colleges accreditation to be back in good standing with them, and they ended up getting it. So with the Southern Association of Colleges and Schools, for all the schools that they represent, those schools have to comply to 83 principles of accreditation once every 10 years. And so Sherman, they stood on their 33 principles of chiropractic philosophy during this time, and you gotta respect that. And that's where the argument goes to, and you gotta look at everything in context. Because it's easy to say, they lost their accreditation because of money problems and this and that, but they really lost it because of them defending the chiropractic philosophy in a nutshell, right? And so you gotta do nothing but respect that. And I'm glad I graduated from Sherman, but they also faced litigation in 1986 from the American Chiropractic Association for accreditation, and they defended the philosophy then too. So it's like you gotta respect that for schools that keep that in their programs, because it's less programs that keep the philosophy than the ones that have it. So, and like I said, you gotta read in between the lines and actually do your research and see what really happened. It's like, and this is not a political channel or anything, but I just want to make another example. It kind of reminds me of Muhammad Ali, when he stood up to the Vietnam War, like, and it was easy to write him off as, oh, he's just a famous athlete not wanting to serve his country, but it was really he's an oppressed African American dealing with the Jim Crow South from Louisville, Kentucky. You know, you didn't get that in the media. You got, oh, he's an angry black man, famous athlete who doesn't want to serve his country, but he was really standing on his business, you know, and you gotta respect that. So I respect Sherman for that, and so yeah, that Dr. Davis is totally out of pocket for his argument here. So yeah, so that's what happened at Sherman with their accreditation issues. All right, so to end this off, I just want to read some comments in Shapeshift Wellness's comment section. We can go from there. So M. Condabeat 4016 said a year ago that they are, I'm a chiropractic student at Life West. The sad part about this video is that chiropractic is so divided, and this man makes a very clear example of why. If there's one thing that we shouldn't be doing is putting down other chiropractors or chiropractic students for what they want to study and learn. It is still possible to study philosophy and be evidence-based. And they're taking care of patients the same way you are. It's very low of him. There you have it. I feel the same way. Yeah, that's a great example of what's going on in the profession. Unfortunately, what's been going on is like, why do we have such a crabs in a barrel mentality, and come together to be a better, stronger, united profession? You know, we already have to, constantly defend ourselves as chiropractors, especially after, Big Pharma and the AMA, conspired against chiropractic, however so long in the 60s and 70s, and even before that, in the 1900s, when chiropractic first came out in 1895, they've had a target on their back, pun intended. And for us to have this infighting in our own profession is just ridiculous. And I totally agree with that comment. And this was a year ago, okay? Student from Life West that he called out. And here's another one from a guy 6 months ago. Deshaun Griffith says, I've heard Sherman and Life are both great schools. This is the first time I've heard not to go there. What's the good and bad about philosophy-based schools versus not? And so Dr. Anthony says 6 months ago, so he obviously, hasn't changed his outlook on his perspective since then, 3 years ago. So 6 months ago, Dr. Anthony says, absolutely not. They are trash. Life has had its accreditation threatened repeatedly, and they hang on by a thread. They both refuse to progress with current scientific evidence, and they cling to the past and old, outdated, pseudo-scientific methods. It's closer to Hogwarts than it is to a real healthcare school. They call it philosophy, but it's really just outdated garbage. It's the equivalent of using leeches for for medical practice. They need to move on and get with the times. Hear that? I hear a lot of immaturity. Come on, man. Let's grow up. Like, come on, bro. We're in 2024. You sound like you're on a Blair Witch Hunt trial or something, man. Come on. Like, what are we doing? And like I said, this is not a political channel, but when people say stuff like, "Come on, you need to move on with the times," that's like saying to a black person, "Hey, get over slavery, move on." It's same type of context. It's like, come on, man. Like, that's just very culturally insensitive, and it ain't right. It's not right, you know? And, yeah. Well, besides that, he has a great YouTube channel, Shapeshift Wellness. And he also has a couple reaction videos on there himself. So it's pretty good stuff. If you want to check it out, you can go to his YouTube channel, and I'm sure he's a great chiropractor with a great practice. But this right here, man, I had to call you out, man. You gotta do better. All right. So I'm gonna end it there, and to end it off on a good note, I made a little collage of my chiropractic journey from when I started to now. So hope you enjoy it. All right. Peace. Doc Hobbs out.